Welcome to the lovely IHP community, 5D Collective, and all who love to harness well-being through mindset. And that's because IHP Podcast, we finally have paid subscription content for you. And I have shared a bunch of it, so you know all about that. If you're a regular, if you're not, it's okay. You still will love to be here if you love to harness mindset. And as a 5D mystic, comfortable with channeling, downloading, like food for thought, we have some messages. And while I shared our first group of messages, this one's going to be a bit of a late IHP show with your 5D mystic as I continue to give you a variety of pieces of content, and some will end up becoming paid once we have tiers on YouTube and or as I populate our lovely mindset exercises, the inner growth. Okay, so in this case, let me begin with if you love to love and live and laugh and learn, expand, and not cast stones, then you're going to continue being here. 5D, it's called Christ Consciousness. I showed a lovely picture of Jesus that I had before. And by the way, on the 28th of June is when the lovely book, The Ways to God, I'm a co-author alongside another 8 amazing spiritual authors. We are having a launch party, and I will be sharing the link at some point throughout the week in case you want to join us and ask questions and say hello or, celebrate with us. This is a very beautiful day for all of those of us who are happy that we got to share, and we get to share our personal journeys. So my chapter is titled God is Discerning Equanimous Love, because that's my upbringing with Christian Catholicism. And when I expanded with Claire's, I knew immediate download was it's your human makeup. Then I realized I'd been downloading even as a kid. I just didn't look into spiritual stuff like the mystic stuff, and that's why I use my words. I'm a full-blown 3-year-old who's a grown-up who's like, yep, I want to use my words. You can blame me for the flat earthers, but I know that I'm not them because I'm not a pseudo-intellectual. I'm only a woo-woo pseudoscience because I know what science is. I'm also grounded in reality. Also, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm logical and genuine, and I'm not perfect. So good or evil, who knows? Depends who you ask. The immunity isn't enough to be saluted thinks I'm not. So here's where, before we get into it, actually no, I'm going to get into the message first, and then I'm going to do some food for thought. That's better, because otherwise I'm going to lose you, and I really, really want to get to the message because it came through loud and clear after the other message that we got to chit-chat about. And so again, if you're objective with yourself, your emotions, your thoughts, you can bring forth that which you want. And when you enjoy being a functional child adult, you don't want to be a prick and a little rigid, because the reality is you're tiny energy and you're not going to have a fun time. So I like to have fun with information. Intellectuals are amazing. There's plenty of them out there, and I know them because I learned from them. So they have the rattle of the sun, which in this deck is both feminine and masculine. And in fact, they tame the wind, their thoughts, because they're actually smart. They own their tree of life, because they own their emotional body, because they can navigate all their moods, because they can move into their ventral vagal state, which is why Robert Sapolsky wrote his book Determined, although I haven't read it, because the first 3 years of your life mean everything. And if you don't want to hear it, it's okay. There's plenty of people who are still going to suffer, which is why Buddha makes fun of me. And that's why I make fun of the suffering ones. There's a solution for them. Fix what's wrong. You don't have to suffer, Life Zen Master. Go to Pat Ogden and see if you can expand your window tolerance. It's not about easy. You got an option. You got a solution. Why do I have to notice that you are upset? No, you're telling people they can't be in the enlightenment frequency. You made a whole discourse that made no sense except for one. You cannot buy that enlightenment. And he was trying to say something else too, but that got completely lost because he completely just made the blanket statement of you can't achieve it. And I'm like, I'm it. And you just told all human beings that they can't make it. The choo-choo train made it. Just you don't make it because you don't want to understand what's going on in here. No, maybe you don't believe in neuroscience because you're a Zen master. So sciences are wrong because the ancient ones are the only right. Ancient ones, Hippocrates, he points out, the soul is the same, the body is different a lot. So, okay, back to our lovely messages as I began sharing before. See, I always do this, by the way. I love it. I'm like, Maria, first you say things, then you do the opposite. Who knows why I do it? I don't know. Maybe it's to make fun and tease. For those in the flow state, let me share with you. That way you can see. For those in the flow state, no, don't think, even though, show yourself, I'm dying to meet you. show yourself into something new. And yes, I do love Into the Unknown, but there's no siren except for your own self. You can be your own siren. Into the unknown. I don't want to leave. I already got in trouble the first time. Seriously, you're going to do this stuff. Okay, so teenagers again, like, I'm doing something special. No, but we are, but we're not. Every step, yes, every step you take, everyone matters. That's all 8 billion. Ow, by the way. The true spirituality human beings, they understand this equation. Walk like an Egyptian. Consciousness, intelligence, expansion, free will. The sciences, they want to say we don't have it. That's okay. They say that we are trying to create a meaning behind it. Da, 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 da. If you use no story, but you just use this, your heart, and you allow yourself to know that they're right, and at the same time they can't disprove God. So do I wake up in the morning and know for a fact that God exists? No, that would be me lying. Do I know for a fact that God doesn't? No, again, liar. Grounded in reality. But it's here that you'll be okay with it. I'm okay with it because I do believe in God, and I actually tried to talk to my teenage boyfriend about it. No, we argued. And in his effective realism, the dude completely pissed me off, and then I knew why he wasn't a believer. The same reason why everybody else is not, because they say evil always wins. Nope, they end up in prison except for the 7 to 14. Oh, and while people think they're building a future for themselves, they don't actually understand. So, okay, let me pause again. The flow state, God, love, source, Akash, divinity. You actually think anything intelligent would be idiotic? Because this is the biggest inconsistency ever whenever I hear anyone thinking there's some dangerous monster somewhere. Dark matter, dark energy, please don't implode. Science gives me a way to tell you I want to breathe, I want to drink water, and I want to eat food. So basic necessities, the bare necessities, and the sun. While I did have a specific type of discussion, I was trying to point out science and technology might allow us one day to get off the planet safely, not hopefully because of the way the earth ended in Wall-E, you know what I mean? No, we hope not, but I'm saying we're creating stuff so that we can actually, the ones who want to believe it's all fake, again, it sounds a little bit like the flat earthers, but they're entertaining, right? I mean, they're entertainment. So again, let's get our 2 hands, 2 feet. Okay, so for those in the flow state, the human curse is not a curse, as they speak of it with the authentic self. Their staff of truth is one of wisdom, the owl's wisdom, and the mystical shaman's wisdom. So arrow, see, when you are understanding that you are not a curse, that's because you know how to be a straight shooter with your own thoughts, your own feelings. You're a seer because you are connected to the higher council as a luminous warrior. You're not going to be that if you don't own your prefrontal cortex, and you got to shame, blame, fault, revenge. If there's any charges that you don't know how to metabolize. People who are not metabolizing their charges, they hold them or they let them out, but like emotionally immature 3-year-olds with a 16-year-old. So that's where they can keep hanging out and having fun. We have this type of staff, and it's a staff that knows that true authority is discerning, equanimous, loving like God is, and that corn, you can grow into this beautiful, beautiful piece of corn as our earth keepers. If you tune into our other episode, who are also the rainmakers. Why? Because of the wisdom of the owl who sees into the night. Okay, so where's my mystical shaman? Lost him, but it's okay. Let me continue to read to you. They are empowered feminines who have a relationship with the heart of the sky, the creator of all, remember? The jaguar is the empowered feminine. No one can eat the jaguar in the jungle. And that's where your ventral vagal state, when you're in eustress and you consistently build resiliency, this is why you're a jaguar. The heart of the sky, some of you are channelers. The empowered masculines, I don't know their journey, but I'm pretty sure that they also are going to be connected in their own way, and they talk about it their way. So you have a relationship. They're empowered feminines who have a relationship with the heart of the sky, with the earth, and the passion and fires of the earth. We don't need to be worried about stuff, but of course we will be given the opportunity to balance things. So that's where whenever there's an action. For every action, there's a reaction. For everything that's meant to come, comes. So we are in the ability to choose. Here's our mystical shaman. I found him. The ability to choose is that which you gain from the ancient ones as you soar the skies like eagles, and you're connected to the upper world. That would be, we got Maria's orange. Well, I guess we can do solar plexus. Hold on, I'm going to try. Not solar, sacral. I'm back, but sacral is what I meant. So the sacral energy with the expression of you, creativity, sexuality, it's a very important, they're all important, your main chakras. Okay, so the ability to be able and connect to the upper world, if you're using your prefrontal, that's awesome. If you are instead using an amygdala, alert, I've seen the 4D. The reason that they are overwhelmed is because they haven't worked on their emotional body. And you also have an energy body, and your energy body does expand. I took a course. So the first thing you will want to take care of is your, again, well-being, mental, emotional, physical, so that you can become that which is a consistent vessel, because it's like a light bulb. Okay, so many mystics and spiritual people, they are all spiritual bypassing at this point because they continue without noticing that they're in ego. And we don't have to tell them anything, because there's also, by the way, other soul age groups. I'm in the enlightenment soul age group. So they entertain each other, they learn about self with each other. That's thanks to all of us that things get done. The people who think who's going to win, again, you obviously don't have faith in God. I do. And then I have also faith in humanity, because I know the intelligent ones are the ones who make stuff happen. Anybody else is really like the flat earthers, using their brain in ways that are entertaining to me. Again, if they prove the earth is flat one day, hey, I'll be saying, I'm so sorry. That's about it. That's it. That's all I'll say is, I'm sorry, I was wrong. You were right. We made fun of you. Please forgive us. Now that the earth is flat, can we move on with our lives? Okay, so here's where connected to the upper world, and therefore channeled guidance, food for thought, all of that which is consciousness and wisdom comes through them, through all of us, those of you who know. You will take what resonates, you leave what doesn't, okay? Because you are not blinded by the smoky mirror of the subconscious. And you're also not blinded by the smoky mirror of the subconscious that tells you that you have to have sacrifice or give something away. So you're not blinded by the smoky mirror of the subconscious, and you know that no one has to give away anything, that there's no sacrifice that is happening. When things are going in a certain way, if you're doing that which is well-being, mental, emotional, physical. So this is why if you're a whole self, if you're not, then you're living the 0-8-year-old. So that's when people are not actually able to be in a standstill in their body, and in fact they're not navigating from a secure attachment whole self. They don't own their sense of self, they don't own secure attachment relationships in the forefront, and they don't own emotional and affect. So like our lovely Terry Real and Patrick Tan point out, those individuals don't have healthy boundaries, and they don't know how to claim them, because ding ding ding, their bell is off, like Gabor Motehei would point out. And even if you try to explain and contemplate and talk, it don't matter, because as long as they are convinced that their intuition is spot on versus the data, you are not yet stable in your sense of self in a body that has a person who's their grown-up version. And you're actually unhealthy self-soothing as well as unhealthy thinking and feeling of things. So they don't believe in the data, okay? And that's why 3D, 4D ain't going anywhere. But again, they're going to live out their self-fulfilling prophecies. So it's not a good or bad thing. They got a 0-8-year-old that has a whole story for them. They're living it out. When you get older, you're going to notice them more and more and more. Basically, you just think, oh, that's so cute. And the ones who don't get cute, it's a sad story. I'm going to leave it alone. So they know that there's no sacrifice. They know this from within because they have the capacity to stand in stillness. And they also have the capacity to stand in stillness as they have access to their soul, to their self, to their body, and to the love of our lovely Pachamama and all that is. As gatherers and hunters and all that are tending to our lovely earth, where are you? They are in balance with the mind. they find the way of beauty with being human and with knowing how to handle differences amongst brothers and sisters in society and the changes that are going on around us. And again, there's no sacrifice. And so, like the crow with an aligned chakra system, we get to be witnesses and journeyers, and we get to speak our truth from a place of authenticity and emotional maturity. And give me a minute as I organize, because I have them all out on purpose. Yes. I know, be patient if you have places to be, or you could come back, you can pause me. Okay, so we have our emotional maturity, your authenticity. You get to speak the truth of emotional maturity from your lovely inner child in the absence of charges or false, distorted self, and closed, therefore, the karma wheel. So the false, distorted self makes up bullshit. And in fact, thank goodness they're out of that. All of you who are still here at this point, I haven't ever had a distorted self, so I just don't do the I'm all alone. I did it once. I'm like, no, you're not. You got a twin. You got your mom. We're all different. What are you doing? I was downloading again already. God, discerning, quantum's love, Jesus, awesome. He is really, really proud. And I love Jesus. I always tease. At my LBLT, he stood next to Buddha. Buddha made fun of me. He stood there and I said, oh, I love you, Jesus. Buddha, come on. I love you too, man. And all you other religious folk that are there. Then I had other people over here. This is a council. Got a lot of council people. It was amazing. If you've never had an LBLT, I will say I liked it. I don't know about you, but it was fun to find out stuff about yourself. And then I continue to have a relationship with them now because I'm an Akashic record reader. So the reality is I could have done it by myself, but I'm like, you know what? I want to do it with someone. It's nice to have my brothers and sisters who are mystics too. Okay, so where are we? We're with the coyotes. So they get to speak the truth of emotional maturity from their inner child. Okay, so from your inner child in the absence of charges of false, distorted self. So you have closed that karma wheel of low frequency in the lower planes, which I'm going to read to you something that I shared about a couple days ago. And it's not by chance because we do cycles. So that's where I'm like, you know what? This is a message. And that's for our lovely new moon and the solar whatever was on the 21st and all that good stuff. They have completed all that was trickster's energy. And so you have completed trickster energy and you do not spiral any longer in your mind. Okay, so you have closed the not helpful mindset. That was something that was keeping you back. So you have this is where you want to go through this. I forget the exact description of the card, but it is something that is good that you're beyond. Okay, so having moved beyond this spiral mind and closing yourself from the not helpful mindset, you have learned from all of that which was in a shame, blame, fault, revenge, and emotionally charged in a non-metabolized state. Obviously, you continue to learn if things come up. In the meantime, you're aligned completely as your own beloved and as beloved for all. And obviously, this is where romantically, that's a whole different story. We're not doing that. Okay, but you know your story. So you get to now, as the lovely hummingbird, fly great distances with the hunters and the gatherers. And you get to also travel these lovely lower planes while singing and drumming to the beat of the higher realms and the time master. You've mastered also time. And it's really fun, isn't it? That beat goes through the sweat lodge where your thoughts, the blade, how you use your mind, your thoughts are manifesting the vision. And what vision might you ask? Give me a moment. We're going to get to the vision of us who are magical and wild women. You don't have to be a woman, but this is where the feminine, again, and magic, so it's connected to the lovely realm of consciousness, infinity, that which is love, that which is discerning, that which supports. It's all in favor of life. Any of the 5D collective, the higher frequency. The lower, again, it's not about it's about they have the opportunity, but I'm going to again leave that alone because there's more to that and it's not part of our message right now. So let me get back to the completing of this. Okay, so you are manifesting the vision of those of us who are magical, wild women, empowered feminines on top of the holy mountain with a balanced feminine masculine, and also knowing the serpent, the Kundalini awakening, having completed, expanded from it, knowing thunder, knowing the thunder perhaps of Zeus. Zeus came into my mind as I was looking at thunder. And with that, your medicine wheel, you know, is your heart, and your thoughts are like lightning, which have the capacity. Right here, lightning. What was this one? Yes, because wind are thoughts. So the wind, the different elements, when you think of the blade and the wind, when you think of water, it's emotions instead. Fire is passion. And I'm going to say not anger. I mean anger in a way that you can handle it, obviously. So all the elements, I'm connecting them Maria's way, by the way. But lightning, okay, so back to lightning, you have the capacity to navigate the sorcerer within yourself. That's subconscious. They actually give the sorcerer like a really negative connotation in the book. So now I think I understand why, because the 4D, 3D community and people who suffer their inner world because they don't know how to get out of the gut, and that's because they're not actually healed from here. Okay, so this is where to me it makes a lot of sense, because if I were bogged down by my thoughts and my body and my emotions, I mean, there are people who say it's easier to be dead. No, it's not. Pseudo live on a screen. No, you're dead. That means I don't get to talk to you. I don't want you to be dead. So if your body weighs you down, you're not master of the body yet. You're let alone master of the mind in the prefrontal, because there's no integrated yet. We got a structurally dissociating living in your brainstem and a person who's like this. And in fact, I've perceived it when I listen to pseudo-intellectuals. It's not funny, even though it is funny, because now I know how to notice these things when I'm in a room, because I'm always learning about my body and then how to recalibrate, differentiate, and then be like, okay, I'm gonna be good, noticing that the gut's on. Hey, heart, open up. Hey, and that way I can stay expanded, they can stay in their gut, but in the meantime I'm learning that they're navigating from back here, which is why Robert's supposed to be determined, says what he says, that no free will, but I beg to differ. Okay, so your thoughts are like lightning. They have the capacity, you have the capacity to navigate the sorcerer within you, the subconscious and conscious all in one, and with that wholeness, you navigate the earth while knowing that enlightenment is achieved through many paths, and that we will have chosen to shake, rattle, and roll the path of the embodied sun that tames the wind through the tree of life, that we are with our physical, emotional, and mental well-being and mastery in the forefront as our true, authentic self. Welcome, functional, inner child adults, mystics, spiritual, mindful, living, and loving people who harness mindset, mindfulness, and mindsight with enthusiasm, excitement, and more. So again, when you become a paid subscriber of the IHP podcast, you will get the inner growth mindset, which I've started rolling out with today. They're going to be for now weekly, bi-weekly, but I'll populate it over time. And so with that, the lovely Ascension energies, for those of us who are expanding, they're always going to be a good time, because we're learning how to expand by choosing to take accountability and regulation skills seriously, and self-awareness. Okay, so the choice is that of those who want to do it, but those who don't, we don't have to tell them that they're doing something wrong, because the adopted child part will think they're right, and they actually have trauma that is unhealed that needs a therapist, not you. So I'm going to do enough to be saluted. I don't need to teach him anything. Me being able to share a ventral vagal state makes me happy because I know that I gave them an experience that is different than whatever child part, which was shame, whatever's going on, that is different than what they have had. Now that they have the responsibility to heal their child, yeah, but I don't have to treat them with unkindness. And I don't have to treat them with an emotionally immature embodied brain because I'm not emotionally immature and I don't lack bilateral integration. I know how to handle Maria. And more than just handle, mastery. This is why it's fun to master yourself. It's not a well-being is fun. Mastery is fun, of intelligence, actual intelligence. Watching it not happen, again, I make fun of it because I'm just like, wow. Yeah, because it's teenagers. I'm so special. Who's special? We're all special, really. If I die today, nobody's going to, no, people are going to, I'm going to miss being alive, number one. Number two, my family, I'm going to hope that my family minimum, and I'm pretty sure they will, so let's not go there, okay? Because I'm not going anywhere. God said I'm physically safe and that I'll die old and healthy. And that's what I'm going to, no, we're not ending. I'm going to read to you what came through last year. The lower world of the unconscious comes up to the upper world of the conscious through the rattle you make and create in thought form, feeling, behavior, and action agency, with the circle that comes with your tribe and in your day-to-day life. You've seen all the cards, so I'm not going to be showing them, otherwise we're going to be here until tomorrow morning. When lightning strikes, if you're ready, you'll take your drum and create your own beat and sound out the beat of life and love that your inner child adult, functional child adult, embodies because of you welcoming the depths of the emotional and mental planes through your inner growth mindset approach. That's whether with me or on your own, of course. And infinite higher human consciousness potential experience lifestyle choices. So you've consistently made it your job. Oh, you've enjoyed doing it. You've gotten here somehow. You got here. Yay, come on over. Let's have fun. It's really nice, isn't it? And so I feel bad for the people who don't do this journey because really they can. It's an embodied brain journey. I'm not talking about all that. I'm saying within yourself with mindset and the responsibility of your nervous system. If neuroception is a situation that means your body is hypervigilant, that's what the good therapists are for. There's a solution. So everyone can work with their embodied brain. You get to be alive with the aliveness of your humanity in your ventral vagal state. Every human being's birthright, as Dr. Daniel Siegel will share and more, a secure attachment, restorative embodiment life. Join the IHP podcast, conversations, paid subscription, all of it food for thought, topics, personal development, self-help, relationships, and mind. If any of these sentences, concepts resonate with you, you want to, or again, resonate, live true spirituality, embody true human intelligence. And I say true because the land of neutrality, and that means humility, okay? Not the I know everything, that's not the true intelligence. And true spirituality is living a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self. I can always give because I know when I'm here, you know what happens when Maria's here? Maria stays home. And if anything, there's people that I already know that I would say yes, and anybody else who I want to say no, they already know. In fact, they know it so well that they don't argue with me anymore. And I say thank you. My point is, you all know when it's really, really not that moment, but it's not because I scan a room. No, in fact, it's not. It's because I actually need a moment to metabolize. So when you're used to, I had plenty of panic attacks, so I know when my energy body and emotional body needs a time out because I'm not going to be, we're all nervous systems, so it's not the people, it's that I'm already in a state, and if I have other people who are not their ventral vagal state, now I'm double, so there's an explanation. But okay, again, if you resonate or you enjoy knowing healthy self-worth, being self-empowered, know true love, passion, and romance, build functional adult, so functional child-adult relationships. You support polyamory and monoamory, secure attachment figure relationships, and secure connections, meaning you don't ask us idiotic questions in ways that are, I laugh. So you're traumatized, no. So meaning you're welcoming of all, okay? Just FYI. But also because I'm polyamory and I know monoamory and we have a good time chit-chatting, and amory means amore, which means love, which means you're a securely attached person. You know, nobody can replace you, okay? Come Persian. It's not about imposing it upon anyone, no. But it's about we support differences because we understand that we can be different And really, it's a stable self that has an image, your sense of self. When you're stable, you know you don't lose. You don't lose your heritage. You don't lose your tradition. You don't lose virtues. You don't lose value. You don't lose anything. This is so, to me, common sense. And now I understand physiologically why, for the left brainers, the non-bilaterally integrated brain people who have cognitive dissonance and structural dissociation, this is not something that is easily understood. Okay, so there's an explanation that is physiologically. Our emotionally immature people are not going to be taught right or wrong because they are adaptive child part people. It is only if you, one, speak to people with acceptance, humility, respect, openness, and then you actually have no charges so that you can have what is an intellectual and non-reactive conversation, because the way that my nervous system picks up on yours picks up on mine, even if you don't know. So you are a person who loves all unconditionally with flaws and imperfections. No casting of stones, no judging books by their cover, no demonizing. Definitely no demonizing or romanticizing people, relationships, or life. No pseudo life of hypervigilant, dysregulated, push and pull, codependent, toxic, maladaptive, adaptive child behavior relationships that have unhealthy boundaries. No, we do not want to tell the porousness or the full of blocks people anything. We don't engage. They're codependent and or shut down and or avoidance. So again, it's not about us saying, oh, I got it. Are you working on it? Or are you going to act like that avoidant who thinks everyone's fucked up and we get to hear about her stories? I mean, okay, like the flatter, they patting each other on the back, have a good time being, you could still mindfully do practices. You don't have to go to the therapist. Oh, you don't want to. I don't want to do my physical activity, but I'm not an idiot, because otherwise I'm going to, have a bad back as I age and get crippled. I'm just saying. So again, it's like, to me, common sense, health, hello. They didn't realize how many people, so FYI, knowledge is power. We've only known about the whole nervous system for a while, not that long. And Stephen Porges on Wikipedia shows that it's still not proven. So that's why they go to their scientists to give them gender stereotypes, tell them that they know how to be mothers and fathers. And let me not go there, shall I? Because really, I'm going to leave it alone. Leaving alone those who don't want to reclaim their life, their true self, their inner child. Yes, let's leave alone 3D, 4D, as they isolate themselves, continue to think that we're ruining everything. And in the meantime, I know what virtue means. Integrity, vows, commitment. You better bet I know every single one of those. I have 2 hands, 2 feet. How to do. Am I perfect? No. I know how to contribute to my society, my herd. And I know what I do with laws. I go vote and I keep doing it. So, you just keep doing it. And there's no need to shout. Of course, let's come together to keep on. What I love about community and people is we're all in it. We're not going anywhere. What do you want to do? You want what? You want us to die? Sure, go. You go. Have fun. Anyone who's okay with going to die, well, they go. My point is, there's a bunch of us who are like, we want love. We're tired of whatever this is. Stop. You're not really fun to. So it's all going to be okay, by the way. But yes, there's those who have decided we want love, and they come from all walks of lives. They're not all college. No, there's some who are in the streets. I love when I get to see them, because I'll stand with them. And like Gandhi did, we can all sit down together somewhere. Just and I believe, that the 5D collective can do this, actually, because we're all a bunch of amazing human beings. We have to try that. Once we get to a certain number, we're going to try doing that all together. I know that we all have different people who meditate together. So that meditate intent. Okay, so let's visualize love. Surround all of the ones who are not healthy with therapists. And then I put them near volcanoes. And then I allow myself to chit chat with God. And he says, don't worry, you keep on. Okay, so leaving alone, again, the people who don't want to. I hang out with a bunch of people. There's just all over the place. Leaving alone those who lack interest in living a life of emotional and mental depth and physical ventral vagal state. And leaving alone those who lack interest in living a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self, so true spirituality. Leaving alone those who perpetuate their unhealthy maladaptive, adaptive unhealthy boundary, push-pull, fear-based safety behavior patterns. And so, yeah, join here, IHP, for the 5D collective mystics and mindful living, loving spiritual people. Our aliveness, our emotional, our thought, and our mastery of all come with the paid subscription-based episodes, meaning you can add to your daily mindset, and mindfulness practices, and you can help the channel to stay, because I like to create content and I have plans for more. So with that being said, though, as a channeler and a downloader, I am ready to continue doing what we have been doing, but I also know that I might be expanding that once we have our tiers. So you just keep coming back. And if you do have any kind of specific topics, I'm always open to considering them. For the themes, I'm sure we'll have some more tomorrow. In the meantime, for this late IHP show, I'm going to end with thank you for stopping by. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I know that it seems that we are not doing anything, because believe me, I understand, right? Not only as a woman, there's plenty of men, there's plenty of days. We all are very, very concerned. And we are going to keep on with our thoughts. We want to not fuel fear, but allow ourselves to remember that we together can manifest, and we are, our species has human evolution. It continues to move forward, like decentralizing of the self, as Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist, has shared. That's what he is. So we are going to keep moving forward. And if you're tuning in to specific types of podcasts that are pseudo-intellectuals, they're the ones who you want to just be aware of it. I follow a lot of different podcasts. Some are tarot, spiritual. The pseudo-intellectuals is because there's a person and or more that I see their interviews. And again, you take the golden nuggets, you'll notice their dogma, or whatever word you want to use, for they think they know everything, but they have golden nuggets always. So you don't go and assume the future, because we're building it and we want to live. So we want to remember, like the ants who all together are strong, people seem to forget that there's a big group of us that want love. And I know that there's more than just one of us that are tired of seeing that which is a low frequency of people, because I know that I met them when I was a kid growing up. Now I'm grown up. And the younger generation definitely doesn't want to see it. So with the new moon, I'm sure that you're going to have a lovely time. Maybe you had some stuff come up too, but it all resulted in something expansive, as per always. And the ones who are stagnating, that's, again, they will have a completion. The karma wheel that they do is 12 months. Ours is a dharma wheel. That's why I read to you what came out last year, because I had already noticed that there's repeat themes that I notice who expands, and therefore those repeat themes, they're expanding you, and those who instead seem to be weighed down. And I'm going to leave it alone for tomorrow to continue chit-chatting about. Plus there's Robert Sapolsky I'm thinking about right now, determined. So your brain, again, do you own your embodied brain? Do you own that which is the neuroception stuff? Do you know how you're navigating? You want to be out of this, and you want to have an inner growth mindset, and you want to notice when you're in the state of awareness, maximum uncertainty, are you able to sit with emotions deeply? Because you are a frequency like I am. And while the lovely community of Reiki masters, Akashic record readers, tarot, oracle card readers, and some of those shamans out there and more think that they can heal you, you heal you. I'm a tool. I'm a support, like my toolkits with all of that, which is attachment, trauma education, because they add to self-help, personal development, spiritual growth. You are a body, and your embodied brain, muscles, bones, and tissues, thank you, Peter Levine, store trauma. So if you disregard your vehicle and all of it, you're disregarding a very important part. This is where, again, I know that we just recently, in 5 years, have gotten a lot of good podcasts out there. So when you're tuning in, the ones who expand you, you will be light, happy, you will hear good information. They will tell you there's some things we know, some things we don't. Spiritual too, they will treat very much in a welcoming way to all. And then you will notice that they are supporting unity, and understand that not everything is going to be the utopia thing. Anyways, again, a story in a long chit chat that doesn't need to be shared. Meantime, thanks for stopping by. We'll be back with more. Again, like, share, and subscribe. You'll help the channel grow. Become a paid subscriber. If you do know people who do like to do mindset, allow them to know about becoming a paid subscriber. The 15-minute episode is live, so you can see what that looks like, and obviously I'll keep on reminding myself to bring to you some other samples. And then there's the main modules of the Inner Growth Program online for free on the inspiringhumanpotential.com website. Be yourself, unconditionally love. We're all here to make a difference, and even if it's like ants, it still means something. That's the part. If you mean something to you and your loved ones and all of us, then we all make a difference somehow, because we want to, with love and the laws. We keep voting, so let's keep trying to make our world safer for all of us. We know. Okay, we'll be back again with more.